Today we are going to read Snow White and the Queen. I know you guys probably are tired of listening to my voice, and that is okay. But hopefully this is similar to the story that you guys know as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, there lived a king and queen who longed for a baby. One winter day, as the queen sat sewing by an open window, she pricked her finger with her needle. 2 drops of blood fell and landed on the snow. The queen noticed how striking the scarlet blood appeared against the dazzling white, all surrounded by an ebony window frame. "I want a girl with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony," she wished aloud. Not long afterward, the king and queen had a baby girl, just as the queen had envisioned. The girl's skin was as white as winter snow, so they named her Snow White. When the girl was still an infant, the young queen died. The king was grief-stricken, but eventually his loneliness led him to a new wife. The new queen was very beautiful and spent many hours preening before an enormous, ornate golden mirror. She became obsessed with her appearance and cast an enchantment upon her beloved mirror. "Mirror, you must reveal anything I wish to know and never, ever lie," the queen commanded. The mirror shimmered in response. "Who is the most beautiful in all the world?" the queen asked. "You are the most beautiful, my queen," the mirror replied. The queen sighed with satisfaction. Each time she asked, the mirror answered the same, and each time the queen was soothed and reassured for a while. Years passed in peace, but when Snow White turned 16, the queen inquired again, "Who is the most beautiful in all the world?" The mirror shimmered and held its silence. The queen hissed, "You know that you cannot lie." "Snow White is the most beautiful," admitted the mirror. The queen blazed with envy, but knowing the king adored his daughter, she stifled it for a time. Later that year, however, the king was called away to war. The very day he departed, the queen summoned a hunter to the palace. "Take this girl into the forest," she spat, shoving Snow White toward him, "and kill her." The hunter knew the queen was cruel to servants who disobeyed, so with a heavy heart, he ushered the girl deep into the woods. "Please," begged Snow White, "if you let me live, I'll stay in the forest and never return." The hunter could not bear to harm Snow White, so he let her escape, assuming wild animals would soon complete the job that he could not. Snow White fled through the undergrowth, alone and afraid. Just as her strength ebbed and her fingers stiffened with cold, she spied a curious little cottage with a wisp of smoke rising from its chimney. Inside was a table with 7 chairs, 7 plates, and 7 goblets, though no one appeared to be home. In the next room, she found 7 little beds. Exhausted, she curled up on one and soon fell asleep. When Snow White awoke, she was surrounded by 7 men, all in heavy work clothes, all smiling kindly, and all about half her size. "Don't be afraid," one said. "We're merely miners who spend each day tunneling for gold in the mountains. And who might you be?" When Snow White explained who she was and told them about the queen, the dwarves grew grave. "You can hide here as long as you wish, but if the queen learns that you are alive, she may come for you yet," another dwarf warned Snow White. "When we are away, never let anyone in." Meanwhile, as the hunter returned to the palace alone, the queen rushed to her mirror. "Who is the most beautiful in all of the world?" she demanded. The mirror shuddered, and the queen's eyes narrowed. "Snow White, hiding with the dwarves in the mountains, is still the most beautiful," the mirror finally replied. The queen grew nauseated with envy and could not rest while the girl was still alive. Disguising herself as an old peddler, the queen collected a bag of ribbons and buttons and set out through the forest. When she reached the dwarves' cottage, she called out, "Pretty things for sale." Snow White peeked out. "I must not let anyone in," she explained, Snow White peeked out. "I must not let anyone in," she explained, for the dwarves were gone. "Then come out and look," the peddler coaxed, holding up a red ribbon that shimmered like a ruby against Snow White's skin. I suppose I could, Snow White said hesitantly. The moment Snow White stepped outside, the queen cinched the ribbon so tightly around the girl's throat that she suffocated her. Soon, Snow White fell to the ground, lifeless. The queen sped home to her golden mirror. "Who is the most beautiful in all the world?" she panted. "You are the most beautiful, my queen," said the mirror. With that, the queen's red-hot rage finally dissipated. When the dwarves returned home, they found Snow White lying there, pale and motionless. They cut the ruby ribbon. With a choking gasp, Snow White awoke. "This is the work of the queen," the dwarves warned. "Never let anyone in, and never accept anything from anyone." Weeks later, still confident that Snow White was dead, the queen addressed her mirror. "Who is the most beautiful in all the world?" she asked. "Snow White, revived by the dwarves, is the most beautiful," the mirror answered. The queen's throat tightened, drawing upon her skill with potions. She crafted a poisoned apple, then uttered a clever incantation. Wow. I'll reread that. The queen's throat tightened. Drawing upon her skill with potions, she crafted a poisoned apple, then uttered a clever incantation. Maybe you guys can be reading this faster than I can. Incantation that made the red half deadly, but the green half safe. She disguised herself as an old farmer, and she set back out across the mountains. As soon as Snow White saw someone approaching, she latched the shutters and barred the doors. "Are you afraid of me, child?" the farmer laughed. "I've only come to sell apples." "I must not let anyone in," Snow White said. "I don't need to come in, dear. You can look from the window," the woman said. "I cannot accept anything either." "It's a shame," the farmer said, sounding genuinely disappointed, as this year's crop is especially delicious. She sliced an apple in half and took a big bite. The sound of the crisp fruit made Snow White's mouth water. She opened the door a crack and saw the farmer contentedly chewing. "Maybe I could try one apple." "But it must be that one, the one you were safely eating," Snow White said. "Of course," the farmer smiled, handing the red half to Snow White. From there, I'd like you to read alone and silently. This, of course, is right where it gets good. Enjoy the book. And yeah, thank you for listening.